Albert Einstein, over 100 years ago, said that the medicine of the future will be the medicine of frequencies. We know that our bodies are really made of energy. In fact, to make a point, some physicists did this calculation really simply. They said, well, you could take all the empty space between all the atoms and every single person's body on Earth. You could fit all 8 billion people in the world into a box the size of a sugar cube. To the rest of us that are not steeped in quantum physics, that just seems completely impossible. But yet that is the truth about who we are. And so we're waking up to this reality that we are energetic beings made of pure energy.
Today, I welcome back to the show Dr. Bradley Nelson for the second time. Of course, is the best-selling author of The Emotion Code. Of course, is the man, he's the go-to guy if you want to move stored energy within the body, trapped emotions, and really diving in and getting rid of your emotional baggage. Now, I am aware Dr. Bradley Nelson has done many podcasts in the past, including myself. And even though we touch on his work today, I really wanted to get into the aspects of the metaphysical and his whole beliefs around consciousness and creation as well. So this podcast goes really deep, and I feel like I got a side to Bradley that I haven't seen before and hasn't come out in any other podcast. So please let me know in the show what you think of this one, especially if you're a fan of his work. And of course, let me know where you are in the world as well. It's a fantastic podcast. Bradley's a great guy, and it was wonderful to reconnect with him as well. Anyway, me and Ellis will say goodbye. Hopefully we'll see you in 2025 somewhere at one of our retreats. If you are seeing this, we will be in Sydney and Newcastle at the end of this year, 2024. And of course, we'll be going to Bali next April if you want to join us for 5 days there as well. Anyway, much love from me. See you soon. Dr. Bradley Nelson, welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks, Guy. It's great to be back with you after 3 years, huh?
I believe it's 3 years at least. I looked at it the other day and I didn't, maybe even more. I can't remember. It's all a blur these days.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Exactly. And a rumor has it you're coming back to Australia. Is this true?
Yes, that is exactly right. We'll be back. We're coming to Melbourne, and that's going to be, we're going to be at the Melbourne Marriott Hotel on Lonsdale Street. And we're going to be there for 2 days, Saturday, November 9th, and Sunday, November 10th. And so if people want more information about that or to sign up, they can go to discoverhealing.com. That's our website.
Wow. That's fantastic. I don't know, you probably don't know much about what I do over here, but we run events, workshops and retreats, and we run one-day events in Melbourne, and Melbourne love it. They can't seem to get enough of this kind of work. We always get our biggest turnouts in Melbourne. They come out of the woodwork from everywhere. Yeah. Melbourne is always such an incredible reception. So I get excited when I go there.
I'm trying to think where Melbourne is. Is it kind of on the south end of this country?
Yeah. It's kind of like if you follow the East Coast down from Sydney, keep going down, you'll hit Melbourne. Okay. And then you got Tasmania just across the pond. Yeah, from there. But so the first question I'll ask you then, let's say you're in Australia and you're at a good old fashioned Australian barbecue and a stranger asks you what you did for a living. What would you say?
Well, I teach people how to become healers themselves. Albert Einstein, over 100 years ago, said that the medicine of the future will be the medicine of frequencies. And I think when he said that, probably nobody had any idea what he was talking about except his close friends. And what we're seeing now here that we are in the 21st century is that we're starting to see what he meant and what energy healing really is. These bodies of ours, even though they seem really solid, are actually projections in a sense. We know that our bodies are really made of energy. In fact, to make a point, some physicists did this calculation really simply. They said, well, if you could take all the empty space between all the atoms and every single person's body on Earth, you could fit all 8 billion people in the world into a box the size of a sugar cube. And there would still be room in there for lots more people. And that, to the rest of us that are not steeped in quantum physics, that just seems completely impossible. But yet that is the truth about who we are. And so we're waking up to this reality that we are energetic beings made of pure energy. And so the best way to really help ourselves and deal with our problems is to approach our bodies in terms of what they really are. And so energy medicine is simply the medicine of the energy. It's the medicine of the true makeup of the body, ultimately on its deepest level, which is just energy. So that's what I do. We have a website at discoverhealing.com, and we teach people. We really like that name, Discover Healing. That's the name of our company, because we help people to discover healing for themselves where they might not have been able to find it anywhere else. And we also teach people to discover their own healing abilities. And we've certified now almost 14,000 people in 80 countries or so around the world in these methods. And I've spoken to countless millions on radio shows and podcasts and terrestrial radio and internet radio and TV shows. And I've been in more documentaries than I can even remember. And so but that's because I have a mission to get this out to the world, because the world needs to know, people need to know that there's a way that they can access the internal computer within every single person is a computer, really, a chat GPT, a Google that has all the answers to what's really wrong with them. And this is a revolutionary understanding that that within each one of us and within each animal, in fact, is this internal computer that we call the subconscious mind that can be asked questions, and it is very happy to give its answers about why you're having symptoms, why you can't find your soulmate, why you're suffering from this disease you've been diagnosed with, why you're dealing with depression or anxiety or phobias or panic attacks or PTSD or some kind of physical pain or whatever it is. And the subconscious is very willing to give up those answers. And that's what's so revolutionary about this. And that's what's driving this. And I've written 2 books. The first one is The Emotion Code, how to release your trapped emotions to have a more abundant and healthy and loving life. And the other book is The Body Code. And they look like this, actually. Here's the Emotion Code right here. Yeah. And the Body Code in English looks like this. And the Body Code is unlocking your body's ability to heal itself. And we now have another method that we just introduced in October called the Belief Code, where we're able to use that power of the subconscious mind to identify negative belief systems. And a negative belief system is a whole chain of negative statements that exist in the subconscious mind, literally sentences that are untrue, that are blocking you. For example, statements like "I'm no good, I'll never amount to anything, nobody likes me," etc. The subconscious mind can develop these negative statements, and we now know how to find those and identify those and get rid of those very rapidly. So that's the Belief Code. So I've been very busy for quite a long time now.
You have.
But it's really been a labor of love, and it's been a lot of fun. And to see the results that are happening around the world is just really kind of astonishing.
Yeah, that's huge impact. I had no idea it was 14,000 people you've trained up. My mind can't even fathom that at the moment. That's incredible.
It's a lot of people.
It is.
And it's still going. It's not showing any signs of stopping.
Well, clearly you love it. And have you noticed as well from when you began and from your chiropractic days and exploring these concepts and being in front of a patient after patient after patient to now, I guess, a movement, a momentum in, people hungry for this work?
Tremendous momentum. It's changed so much since I was in practice, even since the Emotion Code book came out in 2007. Now, to give you a frame of reference, the Emotion Code book, the first edition, came out in, it was either June or July of 2007, right around the same time that Steve Jobs made his announcement introducing the first smartphone, really, the iPhone. That's when that happened. And the change since then has just been so dramatic. People are so much more open now, more open than they ever used to be to alternatives, to energy medicine, to to any alternative. And in fact, since COVID happened, that was a tremendous boost, because so many people suddenly woke up and realized, oh my gosh, Western medicine does not really have my best interest at heart. Really, this is all about money. That's what it's about. And so lots of people woke up from that. And in fact, they say that 20% of all the doctors and nurses in the US left the profession in disgust, essentially, because of what was going on there. And we won't get into all the details, but that was going on worldwide. So that was another big push to move people to a state where they were more open to alternatives. And so it's a very exciting time to be alive. And, the way I see it really is that the earth is, in a sense, the earth is in labor, trying to give birth to a whole new kind of existence for mankind that we have never experienced before. And this work is part of that, because one of the beautiful things about this work that we do, the emotion code, body code, belief code, is that people can learn how to do the emotion code, for example, themselves. They can work on themselves. They can do that with the body code as well. The belief code is a little more advanced, and so you need to be certified to do that one. But there's so much you can do for yourself. And the entire methods are taught in the books. And so we don't really hold much back. There's nothing held back in the emotion code. In the body code, the only reason why everything is not included is because we simply couldn't fit it all. It'd be about the size of the Los Angeles phone book if we put everything in there that is actually in the app that's online or for your mobile device. And so we had to just put in the greatest hits for that one. But there's so much that people can do for themselves. It's a very exciting time.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing, isn't it? Because when you think of energy medicine, at first, if you're not familiar with it, you don't realize the depths of where this work can go. I mean, I started scratching around your book yesterday in research. I was like, oh my God, there's so much information in here. It's pretty wild. So another question I have for you then, to help listeners as well. So is it coming from the principle, really, energy medicine, that we are creating an environment for the body to heal itself, like it has its own natural abilities to find its reorganization to where it should be, and that we're actually out of balance? Is that how you look at it?
Absolutely. Yes. What I found when I was in practice was that the bodies of my patients knew how to be well. They knew how to get well, but there were things in the way. And what I found was that sometimes patients would, many times people would come in to see me. And a lot of the time, these patients, most of the time, during the last 10 years that I was in practice, most of the people that I saw, I've been told there was really no hope for them at all in Western medicine. And so what I found with these people is that oftentimes there was a single event or some kind of a prolonged stress that would kind of put them into a sort of a tailspin as far as their health goes, and that they would pick up more and more and more imbalances. And it was those imbalances that were interfering with their ability to really get well. I mean, our bodies know how to be healthy. They know how to get well. I mean, if you cut your finger, for example, your body knows how to heal that. You can put a Band-Aid on it and you might think it's the Band-Aid doing it, but try putting a Band-Aid on a steak. It's not gonna really do much. And so, so what I found when I was in practice is, first of all, that all my patients were suffering from something called emotional baggage, or what I call trapped emotions. And that led to me writing the Emotion Code book. So first of all, you have to understand, let me back up a little. Back in the early 1980s, I was a computer programmer. So I'm totally dating myself, but I was there in the early days. I was there for that amazing time when personal computers were first becoming available. And it was a very, very exciting time. And I was a programmer, and my job, I had a business called The Computer Tutor. And I would go into people's businesses and I would look at their whole flow of how everything was going. And then I would write the software so that they could use their new IBM PC because there was no software back then. So that's what I did for a living. And I thought it was really fun. And got to meet a lot of great people. And And then it was really an answer to prayer that brought me back to this original dream that I had of going into the chiropractic profession, because I had had kidney disease when I was 13 years old, and there was nothing that could be done for me medically. But it was actually through chiropractic that I was able to get well, just by unlocking the power that made the body. That's the power that heals the body. And so I decided that's what I wanted to do. And it was an answer to prayer that brought me from computer programming, which I loved, to the healing arts. And then when I got into practice, it was also a matter of prayer. Then I would always take a moment and ask for help with every person that I saw. It was a totally private, totally personal habit. Nobody ever knew that I was actually saying a silent prayer for them, but I was. And the fascinating thing is, during those years, that was such a habit. I did that for many, many years, day in, day out. And there were times, on rare occasions, when information would just flood in to me in response to the question that I was asking. That was really, really interesting. And so I learned that higher power is really aware of us all the time, and we can ask for help and get it. So that's one thing. That's one aspect, really, one facet of this consciousness that is opening up around the world, that we are becoming aware of as human beings. And we're becoming aware of the fact that animals have a subconscious mind. There's a computer within them, and we can ask questions and get answers. And so at its most basic, really, the work that I'm bringing into the world is about that we can ask questions. There's a computer inside of us. We can ask questions, we can get answers, and anybody can learn how to do this. Anyone can learn this language of the body. And that's really the most exciting thing about this to me, is that it's empowering everybody to do things that they never could have imagined that they could do before. People are helping and healing their own family members and their loved ones. And I believe that it has to be a grassroots effort. It has to be a democratizing kind of force that will really propel the world beyond where we are now into this next world that's coming. Because, the big pharma has such a stranglehold on all the doctors around the world. And I don't know about Australia, but I know doctors here in the United States are deathly afraid of stepping out of line, because if they do, they'll be punished, and they are. And so so it's a grassroots thing that's happening, and it's not really, it has nothing really to do with me, except that I'm the teacher. But I really believe that I was chosen to do this, I think probably before I was born. And this is my job, to just teach this work to the world. And it's kind of unbelievable that I'm doing this. Even sometimes I scratch my head and just think, how did all this happen? So crazy.
It is
It's
crazy.
really fun.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Why does the body hold on to it? If we, like a lot, of, like, I've had so many conversations on you, and Bruce Lipton's been on a few times, and different people talk about, from 0 to even 7, we're taking it all in, and that subconscious is getting affected moment by moment by moment. And if we have traumatic events, or if we're not getting the love from our dad or our mom for whatever reason, we internalize it and hold it, and it manifests as an adult, and we impose different stories and different meanings to what is not even related to what's actually going on. Why does the body operate like that, do you feel?
Well, that's a good question. I think that I think we're designed to survive, and our brains are designed to extract meaning constantly from everything that's going on in our lives. We have to assign meaning, and we have to survive. We have to take things that happen to us and try to discern what those things mean. Are they safe for us? Are they not safe for us? And there's so much coming at us all the time. In the visual field alone, there are billions and billions of bits of information coming in constantly. And so even just with vision, we have to filter things. And so I think that it's all part of the human experience. I think that I think it's designed to be this way, really. Of course, I believe and know that there is a higher power, that we have a Father above us in heaven who I believe is very real and who loves us. And I've had some very profound spiritual experiences about that. And I know that that's true. And I believe that we're here by design to experience life in a way that enables us to really choose for ourselves what we want. We come into this world, our memories of our life before are completely blotted out. And so here we are, we wake up, we're a baby. This is all we know. All we've ever known is here. Mm-hmm. And even though I believe we've lived forever before this. And so we come into this life, we don't remember anything. Our memories are completely wiped clean. And then we get to make choices, and other people get to make choices as well that affect us. It's interesting because, when people die and they go to the other side, one of the fascinating things that often happens apparently to them is that they're able to have a life review, and it seems to be kind of compressed, where they're able to comprehend their whole life kind of in an instant, but they're able to comprehend the things that they did and said, not only from their perspective, but also from the perspective of those that they were speaking to, that they were being kind to or mean to, that they were hurting or helping. And so it's all about learning, you see. That's what I believe. We're here to learn. Life is a gift for us to be able to, it's for us to learn. And when people die and they go to the other side, they're never, ever asked how much money they made or how fancy of a car they drove or anything like that. There are typically two important things that I've been able to discern from these near-death experiences. I'm a big fan of these. One of those things is that people are asked how much love they were able to develop for their fellow beings in the world. And that's an important question. And the other one is how much knowledge were you able to gain? So apparently those are the things that we take with us. And I think that, when you talk about becoming an ascended being, there's a lot of talk about that, in the alternative community, and there has been for a long, long time. To me, it seems really simple. To me, it's about your ability to love others unconditionally. And there was a fascinating podcast that I saw, or a video cast that I saw with, I can't remember the guy's name. He was an emergency room doctor. And he said that unlike in the movies and on TV, when somebody flatlines and their heart stops, they're only able to resuscitate them 15% of the time. That 85% of the time they're gone. Wow. He said that one day in the ER, they brought back 3 different people, same day, and they all essentially said the same thing. They all said, more or less, why did you bring me back? Nobody ever wants to come back when they go to the other side. And they also said that for the first time in their whole life, they felt totally accepted when they went to the other side. Isn't that interesting? I've thought a lot about that. That day changed his life. And I've thought about that a lot. They had to die to feel totally accepted. How are we with our loved ones and those around us? Are we totally accepting them, or are we holding something back from them? Are we loving them unconditionally, no matter what they do or no matter what their choices are? Unfortunately, as parents, and my wife and I have 8 children and 6 grandchildren and have been married for 43 years, we've learned something about this, and with all the ups and downs. And it's all too easy in relationships to withhold some of that love of yours, to try to influence that other person's behavior, or to express your disapproval of what their choices are or what they're doing. And see, unconditional love is not that way. And one of the beautiful things about this work that we're doing is that we're teaching people to get rid of the blockages that are in the way so that they can become much more capable of loving others unconditionally and themselves too. And sometimes for us to love ourselves is the hardest thing of all, because we were the ones that made the mistakes, and we remember, and we were there, and we should have known better, and so on. But you've got to forgive yourself too. And that's another beautiful thing about this, using the emotion code. When you release emotional baggage that surrounds a person or an event or something that maybe you've not been able to find forgiveness about, when you release the emotional baggage around that event or that person, it takes all the electrical charge out of that event or that person or whatever it was, so that it kind of it enables you to find forgiveness. And I've always believed that you can't really have total peace in your life until you have been able to forgive everyone in your life, and especially and including yourself. So it's important stuff.
Hugely. Wow. There was a lot in that. Thank you for sharing. I really enjoyed that. It makes me ponder on a couple of questions to raise to you. And again, I'm thinking of listeners as well, because I went through a self-exploration for a long time, and I would every morning just meditate on my chakras, on my energy centers. It was just like a knowing to do that. And I didn't even know where it was going to lead me. And I felt one morning this flood of energy move through my body, exploded through, and all my muscles went into spasm, and I felt the toruses of energy and this energy flowing, and also a lot of baggage and trauma just being processed and leaving. And I thought, wow, that was really interesting, because it was a direct experience to having something like that. And it's always made me ponder on, and I'd love to get your perspective on this, is because from what I see, especially in the alternative communities, and that we go chasing the divine, we go chasing to have these connections and things. But I found on my own journey that the more I've kind of self-explored myself and started looking into my traumas, my belief systems, my history, and actually kind of sitting in the melting pot and allowing those emotions to release, over time, it's just allowing this flow of energy to come through more, that is making me feel more with the divine and connected while having this experience. So I guess my question to you is, or to speak to, is it the more we heal our own wounds allows us to just simply flourish, shift perspective, have those deeper connections of love, as opposed to forcing what's in front of us, if that makes sense?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the more baggage, the more emotional baggage we get rid of. And when I say emotional baggage, what I'm referring to is something that's actually quite concrete. I mean, a trapped emotion is a ball of energy about the size of a baseball, and these can lodge anywhere in the body.
Wow.
And the emotion code is just a really simple way to find these and get rid of these. Now, the experience that you've had, of course, there are a number of different ways of finding these and getting rid of these. And through the work that you've done, you've been able to, no doubt, get rid of a lot of that baggage from yourself just through your own work, just by getting in touch and tuning in and doing a lot of meditation and so on. And that's awesome. Most people don't have time for that, and most people are too busy or not inclined and so on. And so the emotion code works for them, as well as for people like you that may still have some things left over, because it's easy to tap into that subconscious mind and get those answers. I think that it's really interesting that this whole human experience is so fascinating to me, that we come into this world and we don't remember much, although a friend of mine is Dr. Akira Ikegawa from Japan, and doesn't speak very much English, but he's very commonly known, widely known in Japan. He's written about 40 different books. He's an obstetrician. He's delivered 2,800 babies, and his most popular books are about what babies remember before they were conceived, and also what they remember before they're born, when they're in the womb. And it's so fascinating. He he talks about in his book stories where very young children will come up to a woman that's pregnant, and they'll have a conversation with the baby that's in the womb, just like the womb is transparent, and they'll remember those conversations after the baby's born. Really interesting stuff. So there's really so much going on, but I do believe that this life is divinely chosen and selected for us. I think we spend a lot of time. My own belief, we spend a lot of time. I think before we are born, um, deciding who we're going to be born to, who our parents are going to be, what our circumstances are going to be, and it's all about one thing, I think, and that's about our own personal growth. What things are going to be the most challenging for us? What are our deficiencies? Where do we need to really learn powerful lessons so that we can grow and progress? Because I believe that it's all about our own individual growth and progression throughout the eternities. And so, yeah, there are reasons why we're here. I'll tell you though, I had a really powerful experience that, and I've had quite a few of them actually, that have helped me to understand these things. I was sitting meditating one day quietly, and all of a sudden, that that veil, you might call it, that divides us from all the memories of our life before, suddenly that was lifted for just a few seconds, and the result of that was that I was instantaneously filled with the most absolutely overwhelmingly powerful feeling of homesickness that I can't really even describe. Wow. And it only lasted for a few seconds. It was homesickness to be back there where I was before. I think where we all were, in God's presence, where we were surrounded with unconditional love, and we were sentient beings, and we could live and move and make decisions and make our choices and so on. Now we have physical bodies, but that it was like a window opened and then closed, and it just left me reeling. And I realized from that experience that we really truly are strangers here in this world, that we're passing through this world. We're from another world that is beyond our ability to imagine. And that if we did not have that forgetfulness that is placed over us when we come into this world, I really believe we would not be able to stand it in this world for 5 minutes. That's how far we are from where we were. And I know that that's true because I experienced it. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Wow. I can relate. Honestly, I can relate to certain experiences. And I'm really interested as well. And were you having experiences like that as a child? Because when I speak to you and look at all your achievements and what you've done, it's not your normal career. It's you
True.
But you've put yourself out there in a way at some stage in your life and going, I'm going in this direction and I'm going to help as many people as possible. And to me, that takes a huge amount, from my perspective, it takes a huge amount of courage, huge amount of faith, and really feel into and believe that there's something greater than us that's working with us and allowing us to go in this direction. Like, is that something you've always had innate in you from your life, or is it something that you developed?
Well, I'll tell you something. I don't tell very many people this, but when I was 15 years old, I was a runaway, and
Wow.
yeah, and I actually had this experience, this incredibly powerful experience that was so profound that I could never share it with anyone. Uh, Still to this day, it's the deepest thing. If you could strip everything else away from me, there would be this one thing, this experience that I had when I was 15 years old. And in that experience, I learned that God is real, and that He is our Father, and that He loves us, and with a love that we can't understand, we can't comprehend, and so that was, I think, that was really the beginning of it for me. And I have always, more than anything else in my life, I've wanted to share that knowledge, even though I couldn't tell anyone about the experience itself. In fact, I didn't tell my wife about that experience in detail until we'd been married for 2 years. Because I just couldn't dream of sharing that with anybody. I could tell people that I knew that God is real and that He lives, but I could never tell them how I knew, because the experience was so intimate and so personal and so unbelievably powerful. You know, in the ancient writings, they talk about something called unspeakable joy, and I know what that means. It's a joy beyond your ability, far, far beyond your ability to be able to speak or to explain to someone. That joy, that came along with that knowledge. In fact, it was that knowledge that filled me with that joy. And so that experience was so pivotal for me to gain that understanding at that young age. And then all I've ever wanted really is to share that, and to just be an instrument in the hands of that higher power to bring, in this case, healing, into the world. And so yeah, it's really, I'm on a mission really to get this knowledge out to everybody in the whole entire world. And luckily, I've got a phenomenal team of people that are helping me to do that. But yeah, life is not what we think. It's kind of like we're just thrown into the deep end of the pool on another planet. And then we wake up and it's like we try to figure out what the heck we're doing there, and what does this even mean, and why are we here, and where are we going, and what is this life even about? And I've learned some things about what life really is about. And it's about the choices that we make, really. But life is a gift for us. We're here to learn. And if we make good choices and wise choices, then we're better off for sure. But whether we make good choices or bad choices, we learn either way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And with your work and with what you've witnessed then as well, how much does willingness and intent come into play with the results that you're having?
Well, it's a really interesting thing. In quantum physics, there's a phenomenon that's known as the collapsing of the wave function. And essentially, to simplify it, for example, if you have a headache right now, your head is not the same frequency as it would be when you don't have a headache. Okay, and so essentially, what we're doing with the emotion code, the body code, the belief code, we're taking a particular frequency pattern in the body, and we're collapsing that in favor of a new pattern. And belief definitely does have something to do with that. And quantum physics explains why that's true. But, when people, if we, for example, if I try to work with someone that doesn't really want to be worked on, if they don't want to be helped, it's definitely harder for me to help them. I may be able to help them anyway, but it's definitely easier if they actually have a belief in what I'm doing, because energy medicine is completely different from Western medicine. In Western medicine, for example, you can be completely oblivious to the needs of someone if you're so inclined. You could practice, you can write prescriptions for things, and you can be very, very mechanical about it. And you might get the results that you're looking for. But in energy medicine, it's completely different, because energy medicine relies on things like unconditional love, because you can't lie to the subconscious mind of another person. They know if you're telling them the truth automatically. As soon as you go to work on another person, their subconscious mind is talking to your subconscious mind, right? And there's this communication going on. And so if all you're interested in when you're trying to help someone, for example, with the emotion code, if all you're interested in is their money, they know that on a subconscious level, and you won't get the results you're looking for. But if you approach a person from a place of unconditional love, where you truly are interested only in helping them, they know that on a subconscious level automatically. And the barriers fall away and you're able to get better results. You're able to find the things you're looking for in a better way. So that's one principle, really, unconditional love. Another principle of energy medicine is gratitude. Having a heart full of gratitude that what you're about to do is really going to work. Because what we're doing, you see, is we're influencing reality at its most basic level, at its smallest level, really. And it makes a difference when you're feeling unconditional love, when you're feeling gratitude, and when your intention is to really help and your expectation is that this is going to do what it's supposed to do, that what I'm doing is going to help this person. It's really interesting. But like I said, it's totally different from Western medicine. You don't need to really have unconditional love. I mean, I'm sure a lot of doctors do, and it's a wonderful thing, but you don't really necessarily need that to do surgery on somebody and remove their spleen, right? But in energy medicine, you have to have love and gratitude and intention and expectation. And when you have those things, and the person that you're working with also has those things, then it greatly facilitates your ability to collapse that current reality that's going on with them into a new reality. And the beautiful thing about that is that things can change instantaneously. Instantaneous healing of things is completely possible and actually kind of routine for people that do this work. It's an amazing thing, and again, it's not that the emotion code or the body code or the belief code, they're not curing anything. All they're doing is removing the impediments, the things that are in the body's way, so that it can heal itself. And so, for example, when I was in practice, when a cancer patient would come in to see me, I would never interfere with what they were doing with their other doctor. Maybe they're doing chemo or radiation or whatever. I would never interfere with that. That's between them and their other doctors. I would try to just work from the other side and try to remove any emotional baggage that might be in the way or any other imbalances going on, so their body would be better able to heal itself, because really the power that made the body is the same power that heals the body. And so if we can get rid of those impediments that are in the way, then, like I used to tell my patients, if you've learned what you need to learn from this problem, and if God is willing, then there's no reason why you can't get well.
Yeah. Wow.
It's that simple.
How does the body, or from what you witness, release that stored energy? Is it from just simply bringing awareness to it, or is there then an intent to release it? How do you find that goes?
Yeah, the way that we do it, first of all, the subconscious mind, like I said, is a computer, but it's unlike any computer that we're used to. For example, I'm sitting here working on my laptop. It has a screen where I can see things, and it's got a keyboard where I can type things in and so on. So it's called a screen/keyboard interface. Now on your phone, if you have a phone like mine, it's a smartphone. Probably you've got little symbols on there. It's a touch screen. You can touch things, and make things happen on your phone. That's called a touch screen interface. But we've had these internal computers all along for all of our existence, but we didn't know they were computers, and we didn't know how to communicate with them because they don't have a screen. I mean, where's the screen of the body? How does the body communicate to us? There's no screen. We can't see messages. Well, how the subconscious mind communicates to us is through our symptoms. And these can be physical, like pain, digestive problems, asthma. It can be mental or emotional problems like depression or anxiety, phobias, panic attacks, PTSD, eating disorders, self-sabotage. It can be through some kind of a disease, okay? All of these are symptoms. If you can't find your soulmate, that's a symptom. If you can't make enough money in this world, that's also a symptom, you see. And I've learned that as a holistic doctor. After all of these years, it's become more and more clear to me that all of these symptoms are just ways that the subconscious mind tries to communicate with us that there's something else going on, something else is wrong, something needs to be addressed. And so we're able, through this work, we now have a real complete body of work that enables us. We've really cracked the code on this language of the subconscious mind, and we can find out, your great grandmother maybe was jilted at the altar, and so that emotion of grief that she had has passed down to you, and maybe that's why you're having a hard time with relationships, or maybe someone back in your line was thrown into the poorhouse, and so maybe that's why you have money issues and things like that. You can find stuff like that because the subconscious knows all of it with a perfect understanding, you see. And so the beauty of this work is that it's just so simple and easy that kids can do it. And in all my travels around the world, I've done seminars all over the world. And again, I'm going to be in Australia. See what the dates are on that. That's going to be
November
9th.
There you go.
Yeah, November 9th and 10th in Melbourne. And you can go to our website at discoverhealing.com to find out more about that and get tickets. But anyway, in all my travels over all the world, in various different places, I've had people come up to me and say, "Hey, I had a near-death experience. I saw this work that you are bringing into the world. I've seen this change the world." And people have told me that, who have had dreams and visions and all kinds of things. And so, like I said, this isn't about me. I'm just the teacher, but people need to know that there's another way that they can unlock their own healing abilities. And it's time to wake up.
Absolutely. No, I'm just so excited about this work because it's had a huge impact on my own life, and realizing how much of a prisoner in my own body and mind I was to feel those shifts and to move beyond that. But you're right, I had to learn the lessons. Like if I hadn't gone through some of my darkest, loneliest times in my 20s, I don't think I'd embraced with full open heart, love and gratitude what I have in my life right now with my children and my wife and my family and the very different things that I'm making an impact on in the world. I had reflecting, there is so much wisdom from that to then allow me to soak it up when I can and be fully aware and present of it as often as I can, because it just flies past us straight away. I got one last question for just to close the loop for the listeners as well, I feel. What's the best way to ask the subconscious?
Well, we teach a number of different methods in the body code and the belief code. One of the simplest ways to do that, and one of the fastest ways that most anybody can do, is something that we call the sway test, where if you're standing up and your feet are about shoulder width apart, and you're thinking positive thoughts, or if you're asking a question, the answer to which is yes, or if you're just feeling in a state of congruency, the body will tend to sway forward slowly within about 3 to 10 seconds. On the other hand, if you're holding thoughts of negativity or incongruency or falsehood, the subconscious mind will tend to make your physical body sway backward. And so this is one of the simplest ways that works for almost everybody. In everything that we do and in the certifications, we teach people lots of different methods of muscle testing. For example, you can muscle test another person by putting your hands on their arm and pressing down, and their arm will stay strong. If the answer coming from the subconscious mind is a yes, it'll weaken if it's a no. There are lots of different other methods of muscle testing. There's the ring and ring method. There's the hand solo method. There's the finger pad method, where your fingers will become stickier or less sticky if you're in a yes or a no state. Lots of different ways to do it. But, and in fact, on our website at discoverhealing.com, you can get more information about that. But what we're teaching people is the language really of the body, the language of the subconscious mind. And I think it's the most important language that you can learn, because it has all the answers about what's really going on with you and how you can live the longest, healthiest possible life, and how you can achieve everything that you're capable of in this world. So it's a really important language to learn.
Oh, 1000%. And we're going to wrap up the question. I'm just aware of the time, but with everything we've covered today, which has been a lot, like, what would you like to leave the listeners to ponder on to finish this?
Well, I think that I think the most important thing that I have learned for myself is that that I can share is that you are not here by happenstance. There are divine reasons why you are here right now. And the people that are in your life, that are in your circle, they're supposed to be there. And there are things, if things aren't going well, there are things that you're supposed to learn. And things can change. You know, it's interesting because when we have, if we have a relationship that's not working well, and one person starts to get worked on and starts getting rid of their emotional baggage and so on, the relationship will change. Sometimes relationships end because a person really gains consciousness about how bad things really are, and that can end the relationship. But oftentimes things improve. So I think that beside the most important truth I think that exists in the universe, which is that God lives, that he actually is a real being that loves us. I don't think there's anything more important than that could possibly be. Einstein once said, the thing that we need to figure out and decide for ourselves is whether we live in a friendly or an unfriendly universe. And I can tell you that I have learned and know for myself that we are definitely in a friendly universe, and that that higher power has nothing but absolute unconditional love for us. And that's a beautiful thing, right? And if you start to ask for help, you'll get it. And that's one of the things that we teach people in not only in the books, but also in our certifications, that it's not a denominational thing. We have people from all over the world, of all religions doing this, but it's really more about just a basic fundamental facet of our existence as human beings, that we are children of a higher power. And if you start asking that higher power to help you, and then you start to notice and take notes about things that are going on in your life, if you do that on a regular basis, you'll begin to understand how that help is actually manifesting for you, and it will blow your mind. Guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great way to finish the podcast, Bradley. Look, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm excited for you to be in Australia, coming all this way. Not many people come over here, mate. It's a bit out of the way, Australia, I think. So the fact that you're coming over,
we can't wait to come back. Actually, it's been too many years. We were there in 2010 and came and did a seminar in Sydney, and it was a really great experience. And so we're really excited to come back. It's going to be really fun. I hope you can all come to the event. It's going to be a great event.
Fantastic, man. I'll make sure all the links are in the show notes so people can click below and check it all out. But look, thank you so much. Thank you for everything you're doing, coming on the podcast, and it was really great to see you again. Thank you.
Great to see you too, Guy. Thank you so much for having me on. God bless you. Appreciate your help and helping me to get this work out to the world.
Absolutely. Thank you.